Reynolds, and I am the owner and designer of H&T Design Media. I'm also known as the Courseware Cook. And I'm here today to give you the tools for success when it is that you are teaching your children about something so important to our society as bugs. So stay tuned, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to teach you guys about 7 of my favorite bugs using art, and in this case, paper mache, to give you fun facts and tips about bugs. Hey there guys, and for our first bug, we're going to use the caterpillar. As you can see from this picture, the caterpillar was created with paper mache. So I took 4 balloons, blew them up, tied them off, and covered each one individually with paper mache. Once the paper mache was hardened, I cut off the part that you would tie, so it created a flat edge. Once I had that flat edge, I taped them all together using packing tape. Once everything was dried and I had all 4 sections glued together, I then covered, in fact painted, the entire structure or the entire body in green acrylic paint. In fact, 2 different shades of acrylic paint. Then, for the legs, I actually took a combination of paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls, and the rolls that my essential oils come in, which are a little bit sturdier. That allowed the caterpillar to actually be freestanding once I taped and hot glue gunned all of the pieces together. Hot glue gun was my base, and then green packing tape is what you see on the outside. So now, the eyes were then secured with a hot glue gun, and I used a very sturdy, almost a pipe cleaner with glitter, and wound a couple of them together to make the antennas. So now you know how it was structurally put together. Now let's talk about a few fun facts. Thoughtco.com, and I'll put that link in the description, that's where this information comes from, this next segment. And that is, I have 2 fun facts about caterpillars that you may or may not have already known. First of all, a caterpillar has 4,000 muscles. Now, I don't know how many muscles you have in your body, but I can almost promise you it's not anywhere close to 4,000. A caterpillar also has 12 eyes. That's not to say that they see any better than you or I, but it does help them in terms of seeing the predators that are coming their way. So, now that you know a little bit about caterpillars, let's go on to our next bug as well. And our next bug is the spider. Regardless of which species of spider, I've got some information for you, but first of all, let's talk about how this particular bug in the picture was constructed. I actually took a couple of boxes and cut off the corners. I taped it together as if there were contents in the box. Then I cut off each of the corners to give it its sort of octagon type shape. Then I took another box and I glued it to the other one, painted the whole thing in black, and for the areas that really needed to be secured, I used black packing tape. For the legs are made of much of the same materials as for the caterpillar. Then on top of it, to create the red stripes, I used felt. So now you know exactly how the spider was created. Preschoolinspirations.com is going to give us a couple of facts here. First of all, the spider is not really an insect, it's an arachnid. Arachnid. Much like the tick and the mite. Most spiders, in fact, some of the main spiders that you might see around, can actually spin a web in about 60 minutes. So about 1 hour. Now, the average house, here's kind of a creepy factor as we are really close to Halloween. The average house actually contains about 30 spiders. Now, I'm not talking about those of you that might have a pet tarantula or some little spiders that you call your pets. I'm talking about free roaming spiders that as soon as you open up a drawer, it kind of crawls out and crawls everywhere. It kind of creeps you out. Those are the spiders that I'm talking about. So now you know a little bit of information about the spider. Next, let's talk about the ant. Now, as I mentioned before, the next bug we're going to talk about is the ant. Now, much like the spider and the caterpillar, Sometimes I use boxes and sometimes I use paper mache. In the case of the ant, I used paper mache over a blown up balloon. The legs and so forth were created much the same, but I created a ant-like structure and painted it in black. Now, let's talk about some fun facts about the ant. Thanks to thoughtco.com. That's where I got this information from, just to source it. First of all, an ant can carry 50 times its weight. Think about something that is 50 times your weight. Maybe a vehicle, maybe it's whatever you drive in to get to work. But it's really important to understand just how strong they really are. They actually created the very first farm idea. They've been farming for a lot longer than human beings. So, you know that they're very, very strong creatures. The next time you see them, even though you are much stronger than the ant, compared to their body mass, their muscular structure rather, is very, very strong. And now the lightning bug. The lightning bug was a really, really fun bug to create. This one is based on boxes taped with shipping tape, painted in black, and there's actually a little light underneath its underside to make it light up. The wings are held up by none other than a toilet paper roll. Everything was painted in black, and then we painted some colors to make it look more bug-like as well. A lot of the other features are the same as some of the other bugs. Just keep in mind that the base of this particular bug was a box. So the lightning bug. According to farmersalmanac.com, this bug has a pretty short lifespan. In fact, they spend most of their life seeking a love mate. So now, you know that you see that light. That tail contains calcium, chemicals, and enzymes. So there's a lot of benefits, but it's kind of a cool feature when you see them lit up at night. Don't forget what you actually are looking at. You're looking at a bug that doesn't live very long, but serves a great purpose. They're actually beautiful, especially if you're out at a campsite. Next, let's look at the stink bug. Everybody's favorite bug, right? Now, this one was also created with a shipping box or a packing box with packing tape. And then I painted it from there. Now, it's really, really kind of a cool but stinky bug. And if we look at thoughtco.com, these are some really helpful pests. Yes, they do stink, but mating can last for hours. But it's not exactly romantic. And now, let's take a look at the butterfly. Most people's favorite insect because they can be very, very colorful. And they sort of prance around and they fly around, and a lot of times people love to look at them as they sit still. But they don't like to sit still for very long. This particular bug was probably the hardest to construct because the base, in fact the black body that you see, was constructed with balloons and paper mache, much like the spider and the ant that we created here. But the wings are sort of a mesh-like structure, and we had to spray that mesh over wire and spray it with a starch. We had to make sure that those wings wouldn't bend and that the whole thing could be hung, say, from the ceiling to make it look like it was actually flying. The legs are pipe cleaners, the antennas are pipe cleaners, and the eyes are googly eyes. So, you can kind of see we could actually use fishing line if we're really careful on how we attach this so that we can hang it as if it's floating from the ceiling. And again, thoughtco.com has some great information. Typically the wings are transparent, much like our bug here. They also eat and live on an all-liquid diet. Most people don't know that fact. Imagine if you lived on an all-liquid diet. All right, and the final of our 7 favorite bugs is the praying mantis. The praying mantis was created primarily of boxes and toilet paper rolls. Everything was covered and painted in green, and we had to try and make it so that it was freestanding. So the packing tape that is, was green tape, and it was made to really hold the structure up. Now, here are some interesting facts from interestingfacts.org. The praying mantis can typically turn its head 180 degrees. Its lifespan is about 12 months. And here's a really fun fact as we end this particular video. The female praying mantis eats the male's head while it's mating. So imagine that. Good thing we don't have that practice going on as human beings. So anyways, I hope that you really enjoyed learning about bugs and that you've also seen a way that you can practically make them and have a lot of fun doing so. At that, I would love to hear how you guys are having fun doing a lot of the same things as well. All right, guys, hats off to you. Congratulations on making it through this video, and I hope that you really enjoyed the content. I hope that you also have learned that you can find ways that you can combine things that you love in your life. You already know that I love art, I love graphic design and photography, and I also love nature. So bugs just being a natural part of nature, it's often something we take for granted. So nature and art are two of my loves. I want to know in the comments below this video, what are your loves? What are the things that you are combining to teach people, whatever your target audience is, about something that's important to you? So with that, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe it, share it around to all your friends, and as always, make today great, guys.